On the farm tonight, 10 years ago, you'd be hard-pressed to find any mushroom farms in Virginia. But because of consumer demand and farmers searching for new growth opportunities, that trend is reversing.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, WFXR's George Noliff introduced us to one local mushroom farm family as they started the process for the year. Tonight, he's got an update.
We're trying to get an even spread of the mycelium.
Mushroom farming is one part brain work.
And so by going with this offset diamond pattern, it allows that to happen faster than if we just did straight holes.
One part hands-on labor and a lot of parts patience.
They get pretty well colonized within about 5 months. So some of these will start to fruit in September or October.
To get the mushrooms blooming on logs months from now, there's a lot to be done at this time of year. You might remember a few weeks ago when the folks at Wingstem Farms near Montvale were harvesting trees. Those logs give their mushrooms a place to grow.
Are filling all those holes.
Now it's time for inoculation, actually planting the mushroom spore known as mycelium in the logs.
This is inoculated spawn, the substrate. Then we use the inoculation tools. Grab them in here and fill the holes. Some of the actual mycelium in here that's colonized. Once it chews up the inner part, all that sawdust, it wants to either find more food or start to fruit.
Even without the beef, that would be a treat.
Yes, it would.
It's a very social process. This kind of farming is almost a throwback. Wingstem is part of a collective of small farms called Edible Goose Creek. To compete and to thrive, those small farm collectives have returned to the traditional practice of farmers helping farmers. On this day, Mark and Lexi, who run Wingstem, got some help from the Wills family, who run Bramble Hollow Farms.
It's because we've, all become so independent in our lives, and we don't share in these kind of activities anymore like generations have in the past.
It's a much faster process with friends and family.
So it's a group effort, inoculating the logs, capping the holes, tagging the logs, and then moving them outside for the long wait.
But generally August or September, we'll be able to reap the benefits of all this hard work.
Wingstem grows a variety of mushrooms like shiitake, hen of the woods, and lion's mane, just to name a few. But just like in the last story I did with Wingstem, you didn't see a lot of mushrooms. That's because, depending on the variety, we are at least still weeks, if not months away from them fruiting. Once they do, we'll bring you an update, but they still have some dried mushrooms available for sale.
So, George, what's driving the increase in consumer mushroom demand here in Virginia?
A couple of things. First, call it the foodie factor. As people expand their culinary horizons, they're using mushrooms more, especially some of the fancier varieties, like the kind like you like, Kathleen. Second, you can use mushrooms to replace meat in a lot of dishes. So for people trying to go plant-based, it's a great option, natural choice. Third, health benefits, especially since mushrooms have been shown to decrease your risk for cancer, lower your blood pressure, and support your immune system.
And I never realized how much of a process that was, the cutting the logs up and inoculating everything. It's crazy.
You and me both. I had no idea.
Yeah.
You don't even want to know how I thought. I just thought it was as simple as plucking it or something.
Me too. You got to make sure you show us when they're finally sprouting up.
Will do.
All right. Thank you, George.